Good evening. Today is Monday, October 3rd, 2022, the regular session of the Board of School Trustees of the School City of East Chicago. The place is School City of East Chicago, Administration Building, 1401 East 144th Street, East Chicago, Indiana, 46312. And this is also being streamed live at www.scec.k12.in.us. This is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting the school corporation business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. First item we have is a roll call. Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Present.
Trustee Gomez?
Present.
Trustee Williams?
Present.
Trustee Smith?
Present.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Present. Can you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the
The next item of the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Is there a comment from the public in regards to the approval of the agenda? With none being heard, is there a motion for approval of the agenda?
Madam President, make a motion to
Second.
approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes the motion for approval. Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Are there any questions? Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 4, consent agenda. Is there a comment from the audience in regards to the consent agenda? With none being heard, is there a motion?
Madam President, make a motion to approve consent agenda.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for
Second.
approval. Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Are there any questions? I just would like to say a comment in regards to donation, actually 2 of them. And I know this has to be a typo, but the item for, under personnel, is item number, sorry. I know it's one of the extra stipends that we have, and I think it was for the individual who got her name wrong the first time. She's on here again, but the name is still wrong.
It's on the personnel report?
Correct.
For donation.
No. A person. Saw her name.
We did have one incorrection.
Oh, I think you took it off. Was there, it was a name correction that needed to be done. Yes, but they were also receiving a stipend for, because she was a new teacher, and it was also misspelled on that. But I'm assuming it was taken off because it's not on
Actually,
here.
Madam President,
Yes,
is it on page 1 on the bottom there? 2969, Doc 2969?
that's the name that I was looking for, but it was under, she was receiving a stipend for teacher, or the teacher stipend for a new teacher. It was on here when we first got the agenda. It's not on here anymore. But it was a misspelling, that's all. I just wanted to point that out, but I don't see it. But it was just for the stipend. And the second item I wanted to address, to Ms. Alexander's letter for donations. And I know that she is asking for donations for the Cardinal Challenge for Attendance, Behavior, and Grades Challenge. And I do hope that they receive many donations. And I just want to let her know I'm a commit to making a basket for her and for the program, because I think this is awesome. The goal that they set for attendance for last year actually worked. And the kids enjoyed a good time at the end of the school year. So I hope that they receive as many donations as possible. Is there any questions? Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez on.
Yes. Now we'll move to new business. Item 5.01, approval of proposal to accept funding for indoor air purifiers. Is Dr.
Yes, this is the Environmental Integrity Project, EIP. It's a non-governmental organization who advocates for the enforcement of environmental laws. So through they reach an agreement, and they have a $250,000 proposal for the school city of Chicago if we accept, and it's to help our students and our staff with clean air. So basically what they're asking is that if we accept their proposal, they will purchase 370 air purifiers and 1,800 filters for our schools.
Is there a comment from the audience in regards to this item? You can go to the, sorry.
Cytherea Artist. I just wanted to know which schools will first benefit from this?
It will be for all our schools.
All of our schools, and how soon do you think that would take place?
We just have to let them know that if we accept the proposal. The deadline of the proposal is October 31st, but right after this meeting, we should be able to move forward with that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments from the audience? Is there a motion for approval to accept the proposal to accept the funding for the indoor air purifiers?
Madam President, I move for approval of 5.01.
Trustee Gomez makes a motion for approval.
Second.
Trustee Smith seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez?
my question, I'm sorry I didn't have a chance to get this question to Dr. Abrego prior to the meeting, but I guess my question's regarding how do we move forward with the, once these monies have been expended, how do we continue either maintaining or servicing these filters or these purifiers with filters?
I think you asked me how we're going to distribute these filters, am I correct?
No, I asked how, once we've expended these funds, how do we, how is there a plan in place to continue either servicing them or providing the filters for these air purifiers?
Oh, yes. As soon as you approve it, we'll move forward with that with our team.
I'm sorry, but let me,
Do you want this?
my question is, once we've expended all these funds,
Okay.
the filters will still be needed for these air purifiers and/or servicing of these air purifiers. Once we've expended the $250,000, my question is, then what?
I don't think we've thought that far in advance, but I believe that if you let our team, Chief Financial Officer and our team get together on what is the plan after all this money is exhausted, we can give you that information, Mr. Gomez.
Thank you. Madam President,
Trustee Rodriguez?
I think Leila may have an answer for that.
Ms. Simmons?
Yes, so the total of the 1,800 filters that's there, that is a total for the next 5 years. So we would not have to worry about getting filters for the next 5 years for those air purifiers.
And that answers part of the question. The other part of the question was regarding servicing of these air purifiers. Is there a maintenance agreement on these?
There is no maintenance agreement because we will be purchasing those air purifiers ourselves. The organization does not purchase them for us. We will purchase them.
Is there consideration of perhaps looking for a maintenance agreement with this company?
Most definitely. With the company that we purchased it from?
Yes.
Yes, we could.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions? I just want to make sure, so it's the 500,000 that's going to be provided to Hammond/or East Chicago, and the total amount is the 500,000, but they've already committed to give us the 500,000?
They committed us to give us the 250,000. It was split up between both districts.
Okay. And then, I know when we talked at the agenda meeting on Thursday, there was a question about if, I think the question did come up about maintenance and if they would look into paying, if the company would look into paying anything else. Did we reach out to them and get that answer, or was it just, when they first came to us, they just said, we're going to give you this, but this is your portion to it? So for instance, like the air filters, how we have to purchase them? When we talked at our agenda meeting, he was going to check actually with the attorney to make sure that this is like the best option for us. And so my question is, when we talked about this, we just said, okay, we're going to be the ones to purchase the air filters as well as we'll pay for the whatever maintenance scene. Did we have any conversation of them taking that over after we install? Just out of curiosity.
I think it's a little bit confusion on what kind of air purifiers that we're receiving. So the air purifiers are just a standalone in a room. They're not
Oh, I thought it was
any of our HVAC system or any of that. It's just a standalone air purifier that the teachers can use in the rooms. It's not connected to any system. Yep, so that's the reason why they're providing all of the filters
Got it.
first, and that's the reason why we have the option of buying our air purifiers that we want.
I definitely thought it was going to be
No.
a different unit.
No, it's just a regular standalone air purifier for our teachers in their rooms.
Okay,
So you were saying you thought it was like an HVAC system?
I did.
Oh, no, I kind of knew that. Because,
Well, actually, I was hoping that that's what it actually was.
but the 500, to my understanding, the $500,000 that was stated in this contract, 250,000 comes to East Chicago and 250,000 goes to Hammond. Am I correct? Or do we get the whole 500,000?
Right, I believe it's split between the two districts.
Yes, she just said.
Okay,
It's split.
okay, I thought so.
Are there any other questions?
Madam President?
Trustee Rodriguez?
So this opens up probably another question with regards to, given that these air purifiers are mobilized or not stable into one area, like the HVAC systems. My question is, so they're giving us direct funding of $250,000. And with that, we're purchasing 370 air purifiers. I'm assuming that there would be some sort of one-year return or one-year warranty on these air purifiers?
We'll most definitely get a one-year return on warranty on the air purifiers. And also, we're going to work with a manufacturer that will give us a warranty on those. And we also going to have those serviced by our maintenance on changing the filters mid-year. So they'll change them over Christmas break, and then they'll change them at the end of the school year.
Any other questions? Nick, do you know if Jewel looked at this prior to? He did. Okay, never mind.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
Any other questions? Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 5.02, approval of bus drivers and aides rates increase for late runs, athletic runs, and field trips. Dr. Abrego.
Yes, and I believe we approved this a while back only for our bus drivers, but now the only difference is we want to include our aides because they also are doing these runs, so we want to make sure that they're paid the same amount.
Is there a comment from the audience in regards to this? Is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, I make a motion for approval.
Trustee Smith makes a motion for approval.
I'll
Second.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Are there any questions? I don't have a question, but I just want to make sure that it's on record. And I did talk to Dr. Brigg on Thursday about this. So this is bus drivers and aides that are driving the buses, not ones that are the aides on the bus just to help with the wheelchair, or et cetera. Am I correct? Because I know there's usually two different pay rates for the aides that are just kind of helping. And I asked them to make sure with you Thursday about this. Yeah, he said he was talking to you, Ms. Simmons.
This is actually for the aides that's on the buses, helping them out. This is not for the aides, which we do not have aides driving the smaller buses. They're on a different title. So this is for the aides that is helping them out.
So does that cause a problem with the,
I had a conversation actually with the union
Yeah.
on Friday about this, and they were all understanding. Yes, I did have a conversation with the union about it on Friday.
so then, just to ask our attorney too, does that put us in a predicament when we come to negotiations of now aides are they're going to be getting the same amount for a late run, but then what happens throughout the year? They're going to want the same thing as what a bus driver gets.
So I'm explaining this just like I explained it to them. This money is coming out of the ESSER, and these are hard-to-fill positions for us to get any other bus drivers to take. So that was the reason for the increase. It's not an increase to be across the board on none of the bus drivers and none of the aides. These are being more attractive for the aides and the bus drivers to help out Susie or help out the transportation department on filling these runs that they do not want to take. And it's because it's a lower pay, that they lower pay than their regular bus driver pay and aides pay. So for our kids not to have to forfeit their athletic events, not have to forfeit their field trips, they'll get the extra pay. This is being paid out of ESSER, so they do have understanding that this is, could be terminated by end of 2024. So the agreement that you're looking at right now, I do believe, is only till December the 2nd.
Correct.
The reason for that one, because it's coming out of ESSER 1. ESSER 1 ends December the 30th. At that time, we'll reevaluate it and bring it back to the board in January.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Ms. Brigham?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item 5.03, approval of Dr. Richard Van Acker's contract. Dr. Brigham?
Yes, Dr. Vanacker will assist with the Special Education Department. He will conduct student behavior assessments and also create behavior plans. And also with that, he will provide professional development to our teachers and our staff to improve classroom behaviors. The contract was reviewed and approved by our attorney, so we hope that this item gets approved.
Is there a comment from the audience in regards to item 5.03? So the question was, Ms. Randolph, you know you have to go to, but I wanted to ask it for you. You wanted to know if this is just for special needs or for also general ed?
It's just for Special Education Department.
Are there any other comments? Is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval.
Second that.
Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Are there any questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez?
just a question on paragraph 3. It says this is, agreement's been entered on this 20th day of August. Is this already in effect, Dr. Abrego, or is this waiting for approval first?
It's waiting for approval from our governing board, and again, it's for the Special Education Department. I can't give you all the details, but it has a little bit to do also with some litigation that's going on.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Rodriguez?
with regards to the end date, obviously, it's a blank area, so it says August 2022, but doesn't have is there a sunset date on this or no? I believe this may have been done by our attorney, if I'm not mistaken, looking at the format.
Address that. When we get these and review them, I mean, typically these are one-year contracts. However, some of them have end dates that are a few days before, a few days later, May, June, towards the end of the school year, depending on, I think, the grant and the funding source. So typically, I don't specify those because a lot of times they get changed. So I think it will be, generally speaking, with these agreements that Tammy sends, it's either the end of the school year or the close of their grant funding availability, whichever one is applicable. So I would assume that that's what's going to happen here.
It
Madam
does,
President,
trustee Williams.
it does say June 30th of 2023.
Yeah, and in the contract,
And
it
it-
says scope of service, same thing.
Yeah. You said, in the actual letter, it says a end date, but it doesn't have the start date in the letter as well as the
Oh, okay.
contract. So, yeah, it's in two different locations. So you got a start date in the contract, and in the letter, you have the end date.
Gotcha.
Any other questions?
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez?
in section 4, it does have two blanks there. It says shall remain in effect through blank 2022. So that's one area I guess I would question. The other thing, and I'm not sure if the attorney can address this or how the board feels about this, but the final statement in that section reads, that this agreement may be renewed for future years as mutually agreed upon by both parties in writing. I guess my question is, does the board feel comfortable leaving this open-ended that way, as opposed to having this come back to us for review?
Trustee Gomez, I actually did, so I did review Van Acker's previous agreement. So I remember the name from previous years, and I did ask Dr. Abrego to look into it as well, but I made sure to just go back. Basically, it's been the same contract. He did it last year, and this is the second year. So when it says the agreement should be renewed for future years, mutually agreed upon in writing, I think they have to go before us in order for it to be approved, because that's what happened in the previous years.
So, Nick, does this imply that the board is going to be approving mutually agreed upon, or is the superintendent alone?
So I think that when you look at the contract itself, it's between the school, city, and the contractor. And the signatories to the original contractor would be the contractor himself, and then Madam Chair and Mr. Williams. So I would think that for consistency's sake, I mean, the assumption would be that those two would be the signatories on any extensions, yes. And the reason that we put it that way is a lot of times in these type of arrangements, they'll build in multiple years, or they'll build in something that says, this will renew unless you notify us within such
Right.
and such a time.
Unless you notify.
We stay away from those almost as a rule because they invariably
That's right.
find a way to get screwed up. So that's the reason why we do it this way, so that everybody has to discuss it and we can have this conversation at that point in time. And then as to the, I would say too, as to the date issue, I think that the statement from Tammy, you know, as to the start and end dates, I mean, if you want, you can fill in the blanks in that one section with the start and end dates, and then you go ahead and sign off on it. If the contractor has an issue with it, then we can raise that, but I would presume that that's a discussion she's had with him.
Okay.
Madam President?
Trustee
And just-
Rodriguez?
Yeah, just to conclude with regards to this contract, on the last page, it does say August 2020. So if we're going to sign something or do something, would that be changed to 2022? Or could that be when the start of the contract or the start of the grant occurred?
That I think we can, I mean, to be honest with you, reviewing the form of the contract, I don't know off the top of my head, I don't know when he signed this. Usually, and it's weird that we got it with the signature already. That's been happening, I think, just because the forms are being carried over from last year. Because again, we're shooting for consistency within the forms. That's something that we can take back to the contractor pretty quickly and fix, I think. But I mean, again, the intention of it, I think, according to the letter that goes with this, is that the agreement becomes effective upon the approval of the board. So regardless of when he signed it, I think the effective date comes out as of the board's approval.
Okay. Madam President, and just for future reference, you know, the letter is good and all, but my thing is a contract is what's binding us to this contractor, so I would definitely like to see this corrected prior to, you know, before we even bring it back to the board in future board meeting.
Any more questions? Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item number 5.04, approval of partnership with Indiana State University. Dr. Abrego.
Yes, this is a partnership agreement with Indiana State University. If a school city of East Chicago employee decides to earn their PhD through Indiana State University, the agreement allows our district to provide a site for clinical teaching or practical education experiences. Basically, what this says is a student can earn credit hours while doing a practical experience here in our district. They can earn their PhD, and also there is no cost to the school city. We're just going to be a partner where we can, a site that offers clinical and practical experience to a person who decides to earn their PhD from Indiana State University.
Thank you. Is there a comment from the audience? Is there a motion for approval?
Madam President, I make a motion to approve.
Trustee Rodriguez makes a motion for approval. Trustee Gomez seconds the motion. Are there any questions? I just want to make sure we go on record stating we will not be the ones funding for these individuals that work with us. So mind you, I love the fact that they continue their education and it's good for our school system in itself, but we've had some issues with funding some individuals and not others. So I would like to make sure that when we talked about this on Thursday, we're not funding people to go get their PhD program. We're just in partnership with Indiana State so that they could come in if someone else is trying to seek a PhD and paying on their own.
Right, and the only thing I said, we're just going to be a site that helps them get credit hours by doing the practical experience here.
Okay. Are there any other questions, comments? Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. Item 5.05, approval of school improvement plans. Dr. Abrego?
Yes, the school improvement plans are basically maybe 154 pages or so, but I like the principals are here, and I'd like to represent your school improvement plan, but if you would go to the microphone, I'll try to do as much as I can. If the board has any questions, maybe they can ask you about your school improvement plan. But Mr. Brown, and I want to interpret your plan correctly, and I'm going to give you like the basics of their plan, okay? For the high school, their first goal is to increase by 4.8% the school's attendance rate. They also have another goal in number one, an increase of 6.9 in the school graduation rate. And are there any questions on this first goal for any of the board members?
Can you give that second goal again?
The second goal is an increase of 6.9, about 7% in their graduation rate.
7, okay, thank you.
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez?
I would just like to know, what is our current graduation rate?
Well,
those haven't, those graduation rates haven't been submitted yet because we still have students that's finishing up. And we have until October 30th to get some of those graduates through that's still like currently working on ingenuity
For
from the
last-
class of 2022.
Yeah. So what about the previous year? 21, do you have that?
I don't have my graduation, I mean,
That's
the
fine.
plan in front of me.
Yeah,
I don't know if
share
he
with
got
us.
it on that paper, but,
No, if you could share with us later.
okay, yeah, I can share that with
Thank
you
you.
later.
Good. And just for our principals, I have an outline of the gist of your plan, so I'll try to do the best I can with your goals. Can I go on to goal number 2 for the high school?
Sure.
Okay. I'll give you his second goal and third goal, and if you have any questions,
I
you
have
can
a question, just, and I know this has to be turned in to the state by a certain date. And if I recall correctly, last year, every single principal actually gave their goals, so they presented it to us. We were able to see it, and it was actual presentation, which those questions that trustee Gomez asked about graduation rate, we were able to visibly see if something that was from last year to where it is to this upcoming year. I feel like that was more effective when it came to understanding the goals or where we should be. And then that's another reason why we ended up having, in between, and correct me if I'm wrong, principals, because I know some of you guys are here, but you guys touch base when you guys give an update of your schools. This is where it came from, as well as other data from the scores. To me, I believe that that's more effective because, one, I'm a visual learner, but you just letting us know and getting the synopsis of what their goals are, literally maybe 4 to 5 hours prior to, that kind of doesn't help.
I don't know, I just took my recommendation from board members that said that it was, reading 104 pages was tedious, so they asked if I could condense it and maybe give them a 1 or 2 or 3 pages of the gist of their school improvement plans. That way I just kept it to the goal 1, 2, and 3 for each school and try to give you their specific goals for their schools.
So, just board members, would you guys like to see more so a presentation from the principals so we could see exactly what they're putting into these school improvement plans, or were you okay with the document that was given to us? Because I will read, and then I will read the 154 pages. But, are you guys wanting a presentation so you actually could ask your questions, or are you okay with what it is?
I would prefer visual, but I did read it and I printed it.
And
But for the community and for the stakeholders, it would be more viable to see this data as opposed to talking to, some things might, they might not understand what we're actually talking about. So when you say a percentage, and like Trustee Gomez says, what's the graduation rate? Those things should possibly be included so that you can be able to compare this year to last year. So it does help visually.
You're correct, but like I said, this year's from class of 2022 hasn't come out yet because we have some kids that still have a few weeks to finish up to still be considered part of that class of 2022 cohort.
And Mr. Brown, am I correct, like, I was in the impression that today, every school was going to share their 3 goals with the board, and then when you meet with your staff and your community, PTAs and so forth, that you're going to do an extension or a elaboration on your plan with your parents? Is that?
Well, I mean, speaking for East Chicago Central, I'm quite sure the rest of the principals feel the same way. Our door is always open to come in and discuss the plan with anyone. But far as what's being asked today, I just thought that the goals would be shared. If it was any comments from us or any questions, that we'll answer the questions as far as our plan will be submitted.
Madam President,
Trustee Williams?
I know you said there was a deadline. Do you know the deadline date for school improvement plans that has to be submitted to?
October 7th, we have to submit them to the state.
By October 7th?
Yes.
Thank you.
Madam
So, Trustee Rodriguez?
Okay, so on page 20, it says core element 10, provisions for secondary schools. The
Then on the bottom left corner, it says graduation rate last year was 64.10. Are we, so would that be last year's graduation rate?
Yes, that's last year's graduation rate. And like I said, we won't have this year's graduation rate till after we get all the paperwork, because there was other things that come along with the graduation rate, as far as removing kids that's moved to other districts, no-shows, so a lot goes into that, and it has to be done by the 30th, and it's something that's still a work in progress.
Madam President.
Trustee Gomez.
And likewise, I think what, at least for me, would be helpful to kind of not only measure ourselves internally, but to see how we're doing statewide. You know, what's the graduation rate statewide? I think it would help the board kind of get a better feel. Are we reaching far enough? And, you know, I know you got a tough job. I get it. So I appreciate all the work you do, all of you principals. But I kind of agree with Chairwoman Hernandez Orange that it might be more beneficial for the board and perhaps the audience as well to dive in a little bit deeper. So I would agree with Vanessa.
And I do believe, thank you, Trustee Gomez, I just do believe that the synopsis that you're giving us, when we printed this out and put it in public, and I mean, I thank you for putting it together, not that I don't, but again, I think it's more important to be able to do the presentation so we can understand what's actually happening, and we did something like that last year. I also believe that when it comes to the community, it's important to give them that information, because not everyone understands what's actually happening. More importantly, not everyone's going to read, like you said, the 150-plus pages, so if they're able to present it, it'd be different. And I hate to put that on the principals, because I know you guys already have 30,000 things to do. I know, I'm sorry. But for me, as a trustee, when it comes to stuff like this, I like to see it, and more importantly, I like to be able to revert back to it to make sure that what we're saying we're gonna do actually happens. And last year, you guys did a great job of presenting that overall to the board. And if our job is about student achievement and what we should focus on, then obviously we should put more importance into this to be presented to us. So I'm requesting that we have our principals actually present their goals and their student improvement plans. Yes, we have to approve it today, but if they could just present that to us so we can understand and actually visually see it and not just rush to get this approved, I would appreciate that.
If that's the board's
Trustee
wishes, you can do
Gomez.
that.
Yeah, I just want to go on record and agree with you, and I think we as a board, you know, I have a duty to, I guess this is a moment where we should express ourselves publicly, what we want to see. This is not one board member or two board members deciding what we want to see, but I think the entire board should weigh in on this at this moment. So, Madam President, I do agree with you. If there's any other board members that want to weigh in, I think it's going to take three of us to make that decision.
Madam President.
Trustee Rodriguez.
I do agree, and I think given the format that we had last year, when we had the presentation from all the principals, could make it more simpler. You can actually use that last year's format and just sort of add this year's improvement as well as your expectations in the next few years. So, yeah, I mean, you guys did a great presentation last year, by the way. All the principals did. So I definitely would like to see that as well.
I step out on the limb and speak for all the principals. I don't think none of us mind doing what we did last year, but we kind of followed instructions from this year. I know things changed, but if Dr. Brago like for us, principals don't throw no darts at me, but I think we're in agreement with far as putting those charts and things together like we did last year, if you all like that.
Madam President,
Trustee Williams.
I think I'm the last one to have to go on record in regards to this, and I am opposed to principals coming back to present to us, maybe in a work session that like it was last year. I think trying to put it in a board meeting does not mean that this, for the deadline, this won't be approved today. I think we have to approve it just so we can meet the deadline. But just to see or hear from the principals individually versus just reading off the, top 3 goals that you guys have will probably be better, would be more beneficial to us as a board.
Yeah, I agree, because along with those goals, it is other things that's connected to those goals that'll help you understand where we're going with those goals. So if that's what, like principals, I think I'm all right saying this, right?
Sorry.
And just, Madam President,
You just happen to be on the
and
hot
just,
seat.
I think, so you're clear, and the principals are clear, we want to know what we can do to help support you. So that's one of the reasons I think that we're asking for it. And I would agree with Trustee Williams that, this might be a better opportunity for a work session, but we're not trying to beat you up. We're trying to find out how we can support you.
So I agree to that, Trustee Gomez. Dr. Abrego, can you please set up a work session where we have enough time for the principals to actually get this together? Again, they have a lot on their plate, so let's be realistic in the timing. I know our principal over there, he's doing like 5 jobs. So if we could just be real, and so is Ms. Quiroga. So if we could just be realistic in the timing and then set up a work session so it won't be within the meeting. Hopefully, with, at least by the end of next month, maybe.
Okay, sure. And I think the most important thing is, like you said, we have a deadline. We were really just trying to give you the goals from each school. We'll set up a special board session so that the principals can elaborate on their plans and give you the information that you need.
Madam President.
Trustee Williams?
I do have one question, and I don't know if this is for Dr. Abrego. I'm sure it won't be for Mr. Brown, but with the school improvement plan, I know it has, we've had some changes. I know you went through an elaborate, all you principals went through an elaborate 2-day session with Beyond Textbook. Have those things that's been new interventions that's coming from Beyond Textbook, is this included in the new school improvement plans?
I can say yes to that, because as principals, we all kind of been talking about it, amongst one another, how we're going to include it into our plan. So
And that's the
Beyond
things I wanna
Textbooks
hear.
has been included, because I know I done talked to mostly all the principals, and some area we did include Beyond Textbooks.
Thank you. I would like to hear that. I would like to hear that and be able to compare from what we had last year to what Beyond Textbooks is bringing to us and making us see us improve in the future. So,
Yeah.
thank you.
Madam President,
Trustee Gomez?
if it'd be appropriate, I'd like to just make a motion then to move, if we haven't already, for the approval of the school improvement plans and shortcut so that principals can
Sure.
get along.
So there's a motion on the floor for approval of the school improvement plans.
I'll second that motion.
And Trustee Rodriguez seconds the motion. And are there any questions? Ms. Bigum?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez Orange.
Yes. And the next item is the superintendent remarks.
Yes. Good. I'd just like to inform the board and everyone that on Wednesday, September 28th, I attended the HSI Town Hall discussion at Indiana University Northwest. Indiana University Northwest earned status as a Hispanic serving institution by having over 25% of its student body being Hispanic or Latino. What does that mean? That means that the school qualifies for more funds to help students of color. Also on the presentation or sharing the part of the presentation was Indiana State Representative Mike Andrade. He and the chancellor from Indiana University did a very nice presentation for the staff and community in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month. The other thing too is I want to thank everyone for coming out to see the Beyond Textbooks 101 presentation. The training took place September 21st. We did put out a questionnaire to our staff to see if they were considered it a good presentation and was beneficial and useful, and over 70% of the staff said that it was, so we're thanking you for that. And also, we did not have it Beyond Textbooks, their curriculum framework, mandatory for grades kindergarten, first, second grade, but after the presentation, many of the majority of our kindergarten, first, second grade teachers also wanted to be involved, so we gave them access. And I would like to say a special thank you to the other people that showed up. We invited people from our community. We did have Miss Williams from the top 20 was present for that. Pastor Williams was there, Miss Patty Jo Gibson, Miss Celestine, Miss Cavazos, Miss Randolph, and we had 3 board members also attend. Thank you, Mr. Gomez, Miss Diane Smith, and Anton Williams for attending. We appreciate it. And then my last one is just a superintendent remark. We have friendly competition going on with student attendance, and I just want to let everyone know that, thank you for that. But in August, our top school was Block Middle School with 95.1 attendance rate, and you must be doing things right, because in October, once again, Block is going to be our #1 school, and they had a 94.6 attendance rating. But I did want to say also that I'm very grateful because 3 other schools improved. And let me just see my stats here. Lincoln Elementary improved from 92% to 94%, so thank you for doing that. And then also Harrison Elementary went from 90% attendance rate to 93%, and Washington improved from 93 to 94. So remember, it's friendly competition, but thank you for helping us with that. And that's it. That's for attendance.
Sounds good. Next, we'll move to trustee remarks. Are there any trustee remarks? Trustee Gomez.
I'm sorry. Let me go back to Superintendent Brago. Did you want to address the cross-country race, Dr. Brago, on Saturday?
Yes, we ran the cross-country girls conference meet, and it was a great meet. It was a beautiful day, and our girls ran their hearts out. Unfortunately, at the end of the race, by 1 point, we lost the conference title. So we've also got some other sports updates, if you don't mind. I attended tennis and tennis sectionals. Once again, in a very close match in the sectionals, we lost 3-2 to Morton. And then we've got some other competitions going on. I believe our soccer team is in the sectionals today at Lake Central. Our girls will be running this Saturday, and boys, cross-country sectional in Highland. And last but not least, Ms. Gonzalez, I don't know if we've introduced you formally or not. Would you please stand? Just, I don't know if I've introduced her to our staff, but Ms. Gonzalez is the new principal of Lincoln School, so thank you for being with us, and we appreciate your help.
Is that all? That?
Yes, that's it.
Are there any trustee remarks? Anyone else? Just in the spirit of your comments regarding our sports, we have to mention our other sport that's going on. And I had a couple of community members make mention to kind of highlight this team that we have. And again, it's the esports team, and it's the Rocket League team. They won their first win, was it last week? And that they have the next game that's coming up on Thursday. So again, esports is, we're doing actual competitions on gaming systems. Again, this is the first year. This is awesome because this is a new trend, and I think this is someone that's here to stay. I just talking to the coach earlier today, and he was just like, we just found out someone's going to give us, you could get scholarships if you win, and this is gaming is continuously becoming very important to children. So congratulations to the esports team, and continue to be successful, and hopefully we'll see them at Lock Rocks next year also. And also with Dr. Brago stating that we have our sports teams coming into sectionals for all fall. So go out and try to see and support. I went to the game, the Westside game for football on Friday, and it's very, very disappointing to see the same 12 parents and the principal at the game. Regardless if we win or lose, we have to support our kids, and unfortunately, we don't see those faces. They don't see them there, and it's a $6 ticket. We have to show up for kids, not just in the school building, but it's okay to be after hours, giving them a little extra. And that's what I ask of everyone from our staff to parents, show up for kids, because unfortunately, it's sad to see empty seats at all of our sports. So thank you to those who have gone to the smaller sports. I think that's important to support also. But I do ask you guys to continue to support there too. That's it for me.
Madam President, may I make two more announcements?
Sure.
If you don't mind? For our parents and community, that on October 12th, we're going to have our first superintendent forum, and that's going to be here at the library in the harbor. And the forum will take place from 9 to 11, and then we're also going to have one from 6 to 8. And basically, that is a forum to empower our parents and get them involved in our schools. So we're going to give you more information and toward the end of the week, but I encourage everyone to come. And then
What time is that? What day?
that will be on October 12th.
Uh-huh.
We have a morning session from 9 to 11, and then we have an evening session from 6 to 8. And then one last announcement, and maybe you could help me with this. I believe we have the Parks and Recreation is going to do a 5K. Can you tell us what date that will be?
We are. It's actually going to be on October 15th, and thank you again for the continued support. I don't like to make mention just because I'm the park director, but we are partnering with many group entities of the city, as well as we will be using the track and fields at Central High School, and that's going to be October 15th. And we start off at Carrigosh parking lot. We'll go through Todd Park. We'll go in front of Central High School into the track and field at Central High School, and then we'll go into MacArthur Golf Course. The amount for that will be $25 if you end up applying earlier than October 12th. And again, it's a walk-run 5K, so you can walk it if you'd like. And then we're also doing like a 1 mile for the kids, and that's $20. Some students wouldn't want to take that whole route, so kids could sign up if they would like for $20. So we're trying to do a couple things with the schools, and we have them sign up and ready to go for our trunk or treat that we are sponsoring. Again, it takes place, we start off at Carrigosh. School City of East Chicago is definitely going to be part of that, and all of our teachers and our principals, and that's going to be, or whoever joins in, it'll be on October 21st, and that's going to be from 5 to 7 p.m., and we hope to see everyone there. There's no sign-ups. All you have to do is bring your East Chicago ID, and you're able to come and participate. Thank you.
Good, thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Next will be public forum.
We have one person.
I put my name on the top. But can I talk?
I don't mind. I don't care. You have omit here.
I know it was for the reason, but this is a different.
Okay. But we also, so we have two people. We also have another person in that's willing to speak as well. So if you can just get a brief synopsis of how public forum works.
Sure. Pursuant to Board Policy PO 167.3, public comments are limited to 3 minutes or longer based on the number of people signed up to speak and the length of the agenda. You must be recognized by the presiding officer and preface your comments by an announcement of name, address, and group affiliation, if any. No person may speak more than once on the same item. All statements should be directed to the board. Do not address or question the board members individually, nor should you debate something that somebody else has just said. And obviously, if we get loud and out of hand with our comments, we'll have to be able to tell you to tone it down.
Up first will be Linda Randolph.
Good evening, Linda Randolph, 4437 Alder, EC. I just want to say on behalf of the East Chicago community, welcome and welcome back. Welcome to Michelle Andis, our new secondary curriculum director. Welcome back to Marlon Mitchell, HR director, and a special welcome to Lincoln principal Dr. Eliza Gonzalez. I've worked with everyone directly or indirectly over the years, and I look forward to assisting them and wish you guys well. I'd like to have a shout out to the parents of Lincoln. On ADM Day, we had 3 children absent. All right? Wow. And we're talking about a lot of special needs children, a lot of children coming by bus, so we really thank the bus drivers, the parents, everyone for helping us get those students out. And thank you, Dr. Gonzalez, for the Nacho Day. Also, from a community perspective, the Urban League will be having their scholarship fair on October 18th. I attended it the last few years, but last year there were luxury buses from South Bend and all kinds of places getting those scholarships. So I want to make sure that we are well represented. Also coming up, the Lakeshore Chamber is sponsoring Women in Law, the female judges in the area, and this is the second time they will be sponsoring this. And Mr. Brown, thank you for sending your girls last year, so hopefully young women interested in law will be able to participate in that. And the Hammond Rotary Club, the Hammond Rotary always picks up East Chicago and Whiting because you don't have a Rotary. And they have a World Affairs Conference where students from juniors and seniors from about 14 to 18 schools come together. We've had as many as 400 kids at Purdue Northwest. This year's topic will be gun violence around the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Priscilla Askew?
Priscilla Askew, 2705 East Guadalupe in East Chicago. I don't see too many of you with this flyer that you picked or saw as you walked in the door. It's very, very important. The East Chicago Public Library is in the process of trying to rebuild or remodel both the RAP and the main library. But we need the community's support. We need your comments. We need to know what you might want, what you don't want, because the monies are available, but we need your support. And this says, your voice matters. It gives you a lot of certain dates for you to attend, and there's for kids as well as the adults. So don't stand us up. Because if we do something and you don't like it, it's because you didn't voice your opinion. So don't sit at home and watch TV, but come on out. Thank you. And we'd like to welcome back, like Ms. Randolph said, Dr. Marlon Mitchell coming back. It's nice to have him back, even though he's not here tonight, but welcome him back.
Madam President, that'll be all.
Thank you. The next date and time for our public meeting will be on October 17th, 2022, and that's at 6 p.m. Ms. Bigham, can you please let me know we have a policy meeting tomorrow. And then we have the executive session.
Hopefully for Thursday. I haven't put that out yet. You said the 4th and the 6th?
There's no
4th was policy. and
So that's not scheduled yet. That was my
not the
point.
6th, not the
Okay.
6th.
Okay.
I didn't put that one out yet.
Okay. That was all I need to know. Thank you. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Madam President, make a motion to adjourn?
Trustee
Second.
Rodriguez makes a motion for adjournment. Trustee Williams seconds the motion. Ms. Bigham?
Trustee Rodriguez?
Yes.
Trustee Gomez?
Yes.
Trustee Williams?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Chairman Hernandez-Orange?
Yes.